Okay. Okay, so first off, I do apologize if the audio is all weird. I don't know what's wrong with it. I messed with it for like an hour and I cannot figure it out. And I never mess with it. I turn it on and I record and then I turn it off. And I never change any of the settings, but every time I bring this program back up and start recording, it's something different. I don't know if I'm gonna be chipmunk or in a tin can or if it's just gonna be normal, and I cannot figure out why. I'm like, why does it sound this way sometimes? I have no idea. So I apologize for that. I also apologize for my hair. It's all messy. I had to pull part of it back. It's all over the place. So yeah, not that it matters, but I apologize anyway. All right, so episode 10. So last time we were left off with Feng Zhu, and she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a look. Yeah. I don't think so. We know her well enough by now that just a look is not gonna happen. Especially with all this stuff that Seeming warned her about. Yeah. So Feng Zhu does go to take a look, and there's this gigantic battle going on, which we knew because that's what Zhuan aka Donghua, in the mortal version, he won the prize, and part of it was to lead the army into the battle. So Feng Zhu, she does exactly what Ximing warned her against. He's like, well, if you saw that he was going to get hurt, would you be able to stand there and watch and let it happen? And she said no. Well, huge battle, he's gonna get hurt, and she cannot watch. She takes the armor from a downed soldier, and she gets in there and she fights. She uses her magic a couple of times too, not just a little bit either, like okay, she's gonna get this backfire, you know. But she saves his life, and he definitely recognizes, well, not recognizes, but definitely sees her, although he thinks it's a him, and he remembers. So she leaves the battlefield once it's over, so then they can't find her anywhere. Now Yi Jing Tai, I'm gonna just keep going with the Google version. He is injured as well. It's like his eye, his left eye, I believe, definitely injured. He can still see out of it. But he also saves Zhuan Ren's life. And for that, Zhuan Ren's like, we are brothers. And he's a really good guy, so yeah. So he basically says that they're brothers now. But like I said, Zhuan Ren, he remembers this soldier from the battlefield. He does ask his name, and she says Ju. So he's like, okay, he gets all these orders for him to be found, because he's like, I need to find this person that saved my life. So now, the Emperor, his health has not been good for some time now, including in the last episode, which I didn't mention in the last episode, but I'm mentioning it now. So, but it's definitely getting worse, and he decides that it is time to show Zhuan Ren a big secret that is hidden in the Emperor's tomb. So he takes him down there, and when we see it, we're like, yeah, we know what that is. Soul locking jade, but it's none other than the Lingbi stone, as they call it, and it's carefully hidden in the tomb. And once you see the stone, you actually get to see a flashback of when it came crashing down, and that whole battle and how they won, and that as long as they have it, they will be safe. And that reminds me of was it the Ark of the Covenant? I don't want to get it wrong. There was something where like whoever had it won. They always won, and so they always had to protect. Yeah, well, if it's not the Ark, then whatever it was, that's what that kind of reminds me of. As long as you have it, you'll win and you'll be safe, and there will be peace. Well, maybe not peace, but you will be safe. And then while they're there, Xuanren actually reaches out and touches the Lingbi stone, and it lights up. It reacts to him. His father sees it too, and he calls it destiny. He's like, this is how I know I've chosen right. It's destiny. While outside, something starts happening in the sky, and you got this green glow going on, and everybody can see it, including Nie Chu-yin, who knows exactly what it is. I mean, it's a green glow, a magical green glow. I mean, it's like, and he's looking for it, so he knows what it is. Which brings us to what Nie Chu-yin is doing. He has been lying to Ji-hong this whole time. I think they call each other foster brother, foster sister is what the story that he's going with. She still has no idea who she is. She remembers nothing, and he is being so nice and making her think that he is just like this upstanding person, this amazing person. So she wants to repay him for his kindness, and he's like, well, you know what? I want you to help me to get to treasure. This Lingbi stone, he even uses the real name because I guess she doesn't remember, so it doesn't matter. It's a love token that was given between his mother and father, and his father passed away, and then, they lost the stone, and mother always wanted to find it, but they never did, and he feels so bad, and the final thing he wants to do is to find this stone and put it back, I think, with their tomb, and make things right, which, liar. So yeah, that's his whole thing, and she's like, absolutely, I will help you. Let's see. This kind of jumps around again, I do apologize. So we come back, like I said before, the emperor was very ill, and he, it's just whatever it is taking him. He's laying down in bed. He talks to his sons, and he finally passes. And then they all bow down. Is that I'm assuming that's just a traditional thing. I don't know why, but yeah. And now Xuanren is now the emperor, and now he's got to take on all these responsibilities. And something I did like that they show is when he's up there, he talks about how his father was and how he always looked after the people, how he was a good man, and that Xuanren wants to continue that. He wants things to be just like before. He wants to care for the people. He wants fairness. He wants peace. So he's following after his father. He's a good emperor. So anyway, Nie Chu-yin comes up with this plan to get the Lingbi stone. So they have the kingdom of Chang'an, which I didn't look that up on Google, so I apologize if I slaughtered that. And that's the enemy kingdom. And he goes to them because there's a reward for anybody who can get the Lingbi stone, because they want it, because they don't want to lose anymore, And Nie Chu-yin, it's not going to be as easy as just walking in and getting the stone. He needs an army. He needs a lot of help to get that stone. So he suggests that the emperor take Ji-hong and make her his adopted daughter, and then give her in marriage to Xuanren. And while she's there, she can look for the stone and gather information on it. Which her name is not Ji-hong now. They call her Chu-wan. And at first the emperor's like, no, I don't believe you. He thinks they're spies from the enemy kingdom, and he sends Nie Chu-yin to prison and puts Jiang into a room somewhere. And he tries to take her for himself. That's, when I first watched this, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, when you see her in that room, I'm like, oh no, he wants her for himself because she is beautiful. But she freaks out and tries to run away, and she bashes her head on this pillar and passes out. I don't know if she's actually dead, but the emperor thinks she's dead. And Nie Chuyin risks backfire, gets out of prison, and he's like, you know what? I can bring her back to life, but you have to agree to my plan if you want me to bring her back to life. And he shows him some magic, and he like reverses time, and they're back into the throne room, and Emperor, smart person, he's confused for a second, but it doesn't take him too long to figure out what happened, and he's like, totally goes with it and agrees with the plan. So we go back to Zhuanren. They get the message that their enemy kingdom would like to have a marriage. Now Ying Qingtai thinks it's a bad idea. I'm like, I don't know if it's just because he's a soldier or if he just has a good gut feeling. But he's like, no, this has got to be a trap. They're scheming something. This isn't, we shouldn't do this. But his brother, Sang Zhuanying, thinks it's a good idea because he thinks it'll make peace. And now with him, it was kind of hard to read him on this part. Part of me is like, oh, okay, maybe he thinks it's a scheme, but he wants things to go wrong. Or if he doesn't have anything planned yet, and that's like what he really thinks. But yeah, either way, he's like, we need peace. So Zhuanren, he actually agrees with his brother instead of Yi Qingtai, and which is interesting. But he does have his people in mind. He's the emperor now. Because they can't afford to go to another war, and their people are suffering, and they really need this peace, and he's willing to do what it takes. However, he does agree with Yi Qingtai that their army does need to be strengthened. They do need training, and they do need to be prepared for the next time, so he puts him in charge of that. So he kind of gives a little to both of them. Now, Nie Chuyin was actually supposed to come with Jihang to the palace, but he used so much magic that the backfire from it, the backlash, whatever they want to call it, I don't remember which one they use, it's so bad, he cannot come with. So he he introduces her to, I don't know, she's a maid, servant, whatever, to this lady. Her name is Ling Xiang. Forgot to look that up too. My goodness, I did so good for a couple episodes and then I forgot. But you get a picture of her, you see her, and you're like, that's Minsu. Like, how, like, what happened? And Jiang, she almost has this moment of recollection. Like, you can see her struggling with it. Like, she knows this person. She knows. But just when you're thinking, okay, how did Minsu come back from this? Nie Chuyin lets, once the girls go, he lets his, I don't know if it's his servant, the dude that's with him, lets him, they talk about how, you know, was it wise to make this servant lady look like Minsu? And he's like, well, I don't exactly know his reasoning for making her look like Minsu, but he did send the maid to make sure that things are done right while there, because apparently he did one of his benevolent, I saved her from something and now she owes him, and so she's gonna make sure it's done right. So, as we know from before, Zhuanren wanted to find Ju really bad, and every time Yi Qingtai comes in, he's like, I can't find her, in the battalion. He's not among the dead. He must not be part of our battalion. He must have just come upon the battle and joined in. So Xuanren actually draws a picture of him. It's a really good picture, and it actually makes her look more like him in this case, because I'm like, no. Some of the people in here you could get away with being a young man, but Dilraba, you can't mistake her for being a man or a young boy at any point. Like, some people just can't, and she's one of those. At least to me, she is. But anyway, so he has Yi Qingtai take this picture, says to have people, I don't even remember who it was, somebody get copies of it and to pass it out all over the country, because he's like, we need to find him. We have to find him. Make sure, and before Yi Qingtai leaves, Xuanren is like, okay, make sure you find this person. We need to find this person. And Yi Qingtai agrees. And the scene fades out with his face on there, like being like, yeah. And so we know she's not there. We know she's back in Jingchu, facing the backfire or backlash. I can't remember which one they said. I think it was backfire. But yeah, definitely affected her. Spit and blood, all that kind of stuff. She's trying to recover from that. But she's like, well, at least he's safe, and that was worth it. So yeah, we know she's not there anymore, and so we're like, okay, they're never gonna find her. And we're just left hanging there with that. So, episode 10, yay! Okay, so I don't have anything else to say, so just comment and like and subscribe, and then come and follow me on social media, which I will have down in the description, and I'll have the link to this episode in the description as well, which I should have done that with all the other ones. I did it for the last few, but like the first, I don't know how many, I forgot to, so, but it's down there. So anyway, I already said to comment, and I already said to come say hi on social media, and I already said to, okay. Okay, I think I got everything this time. So I will see everybody for the next episode.